Thank you all for joining today's session. First of all, I would like to congratulate for taking this decision to be with us for the today's evening. I hope all of you must be inspired from our yesterday's introductory session on holistic lifestyle. So continuation to this session, we have come up with 5 days introductory lecture series. And today's topic will be Discover Yourself, the Game of Life. And today, to cover this topic, we have very special guest. So I would take this opportunity to introduce today's honorable speaker, Harikeshwar Kushwaha. So Harikeshwar sir is our alumni of IIT Kanpur. He has done his BTech from electrical department, and he is a 2003 pass out alumni. After that, he has worked in Goldman Sachs in USA and Singapore almost 9 years. And thereafter, he gave up his lucrative job and joined Bhaktivedanta Gurukul and International School, which is a boarding school situated in Vrindavan. And he served there as a principal for 5 years. And during lockdown, he opened a center called Peace, Prayag Eternal Abode and Culture and Education, where many people come and they learn about this holistic lifestyle. And currently, he is working with developing various projects on holistic life, which are located in Belgaum. So without taking much time, I would like to welcome Harikeshwar sir for today's session on Discover Yourself, the Game of Life.
Shall we start now?
Sir.
Am I audible?
Yes, now you are audible.
I have logged in by two IDs actually. So presentation will be on the other one.
Okay.
And I will be speaking from this.
Sure. Yeah.
So first of all, thank you, Jignesh, for organizing this wonderful program. And I thank all the participants who have taken the time out and are here with us. I hope I am audible and let me know if it's clear.
Yes, it's very clear.
Okay. So first of all, I would like to congratulate all of you for making it to IIT. So many students try to get in different streams of education, but very few make it through. So you have made through and you are here. So first of all, accept congratulations. And also, again, I would like to thank you for coming forward to understand this holistic lifestyle and this 5-day session. And I would like to assure you that these sessions will be very enlivening and will open many doors for you to think deeper into your lives. So if I start with the simple question that why, first of all, you have come to IIT, what inspired you to join IIT Kanpur for pursuing your post-graduation? I think most of the students here are postgraduate students, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So you have come to IIT Kanpur. I would have liked this session to be in person and more interactive, but because I am not there physically and many of you also may be in different places, so this online facility is helpful. So the general answer to this question that why any of you come to IIT Kanpur is you want to have a good career. A simple answer. And career means what? You want to have a good job, good position, and also recognized as a graduate from IIT or postgraduate from IIT, because that's also well respected in society. So essentially, you are looking for a position, some kind of recognition that you have studied from IIT Kanpur, and and you get a good job later on. And what essentially that means, that translates to having a good income. What that translates to, why you need good income. Essentially, you think so that you can live a life comfortably, enjoy, fulfill your needs of yourself, your parents, your family members. And what all that means is you think by doing all this, and that's everyone thinks, not just you, that by doing all this, we will be happy. Uh, that's the main driving motive behind doing all these activities. Um, if one knows for sure that by doing all this we are not going to be happy, then nobody will come to IIT Kanpur, or for that matter, any premier institutes. So the driving force for everyone is that everyone wants to be happy. So everyone is looking for happiness. This is the game of life. That this is the nature of every individual, not only humans, even animals and everybody want to be happy. And I wish that all of you live a very happy life. But we need to know how to live a happy life. Everyone tries for happiness, no one tries for miseries, but miseries, difficulties, problems, sufferings, they come nevertheless in everybody's life. So, how to handle those, how to tackle these things, this is what we are going to learn in these sessions starting today. So, all of us um, have studied science, and studied what everything is made up of, all the chemical combinations, the periodic table, 100 plus elements, and the manipulations of all that. And that we um, tend to believe in due course that everything that we see in nature is a combination of these elements. And then we try to derive happiness by um, from these chemicals, actually, these material things, be it food, be it a nice room, comfortable sitting arrangements, sleeping arrangements, traveling arrangements, uh, all that made up of these material things. But there is somewhere this pinprick, in spite of having all the comforts that are available in the world, still we find people are not happy. So this is something that every human being should ponder at some point in life. We should think about it. Now, let's look at how people try to be happy first. Like, what are the different things? Like, what is the idea of happiness that people have? Uh, so, I will share a short presentation, and then let me see if it works. So, I think you have to allow my.
Yeah, your co-host, you can share.
Okay, fine. Is my screen visible?
It's starting. Yeah, it's visible. You can make it full screen.
Okay, let me do that at 5. Good. How do we do view? Let me try again. How do I make it full screen and shared?
Here, very your down there is one icon, that volume increase. Sorry,
Like this
size is
one?
not here. More little left you can come. Yeah, that one.
This
Not
one?
not that one. The just
It came,
yeah.
right?
Yes.
Okay. So I hope all of you can see my screen, and it's a short presentation. So what is everyone searching for? Here you see pictures. There is a lady who is looking through binoculars, and there's a boy, and there's another person with laptop, all these things. So happiness. What is everyone searching for is happiness. This is something, whether they say it or not. People may say, no, I'm looking for a job. I'm looking for to find a good partner. I'm looking for a good vehicle. But ultimately, for what? Why all these things are needed? So that I can be happy. That is the understanding behind that. By getting all these things, I will be happy. And so essentially, we can say everyone is searching for happiness without exception. Nobody is searching for any miseries in life. So everyone is searching for happiness. How they are doing it, let's look at that. Everyone tries to find happiness by various means. A child, through balloons, playing some little toys, grows up, then he needs bicycles or cycles, tricycle, whatever we can say. As it grows, then those little things are not important. They need to play big games, football. In youth, then they need a partner and feel that by that I will be happy. Then when there is a family, the money is needed. People search for money. Or in old age, grandparents, they find happiness in playing with grandchildren. So at different phases of our life, we see different people. They try to find happiness through different means. So all these endeavors that here only some examples are given. It's not an exhaustive list. The list is very big. People try to find happiness by various means. So here some examples are given. Some people try to find happiness through fashion. They make different hairstyles, they do different kinds of dresses, and they think that they look smart. Because otherwise they feel they're not happy, and by doing these things they feel they will be happy. They try to, by doing these activities, they try to draw attention of others towards themselves, and that way, people, it looks nice. When people say like that, then they feel, I am very smart, I look, they get some sense of happiness. So this is also one way. And there are some people who try to do daredevil acts. Some, like they're speeding. There are some car races or bike race, doing some kind of adventurous things, and they think that by this they when they achieve something, they feel happy, and others appreciate that, makes them happy. So there are other ways by which people try to be happy. Some people try to be happy through sports, and there are others who derive happiness in intoxication, drinking, smoking, and all these kind of things. Here we are not saying which is good or bad. We're just saying that these are the various means through which people look for happiness in this world. And I think you can very well relate to these things because we observe these things everywhere in society. But essentially, all these things they boil down to four things. The understanding is that happiness means improved facilities for life. All the facilities that we have in our life are eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. So one thing is not visible here; it has gone down somehow. So you see the eating. This is the second is sleeping, this is mating, and defending. So let me go through each one of them. Everyone derives happiness through eating. People like to eat, and for eating, so much arrangement is there. Sleeping, means sleeping includes all the facilities for rest, giving rest to the body, some comfort to the body. And mating, the happiness by associating with the opposite sex, and the relations, all the other interactions with them, and defense. Because if we are fearful, we can't be happy. So we want to have proper systems in place so that we can defend ourselves from attacks, from diseases, from theft, from all other things which poses risks. We want to defend ourselves. See, we analyze in our daily life every activity that people are doing in the world. They will actually boil down to these four, or in some way are connected to these four. Because if we see there are people who are eating, for example, eating we take. So eating is not just the activity of eating, but all the other things that are done for eating. So growing food, the processing that happens, the transportation, and then the markets that exist for selling eatables. So all that will come along, and the cooking paraphernalia, the utensils, the kitchen, the gas, all that is for what? Eating. If there were no need for eating, suppose, then all these things probably won't exist. So for eating, there's so many things. There are so many factories, so many systems in place for eating. Similarly, for when we come to sleeping, then everything related to house, home, bed, the AC, the comfort, the fan, electricity, all that is needed in home so that we can sleep nicely. And all the markets that sell these products, all the transportation mechanisms, they're all for finally boils down to sleeping. Because if our body was such that the sleep was not required, then probably these things would not exist. And then the need for having physical pleasure and happiness by associating with other people, other sex. So for that, then so much arrangement is there. So many products, so many things. People buy nice clothes, nice things, and so that is there. And then there are places for entertainment, recreation, and the whole industry behind it. All that is finally for this purpose. And then the defense, which will include all the military arrangements, all the health arrangements, all the security systems. So that is needed because there is always a fear for theft, disease, um, and any kind of risks. So everything we analyze in some way or other will connect to these four. So so people are actually looking for happiness essentially through these things. Hmm. Now, if we also analyze a little bit further, what about animals? Animals also have friends. They also have fun. They also have family. And they also find happiness in eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. They also do the same things. So these things we find are common between animals and humans. Here is a comparison given. We see the same activity. Human being is also doing, animal is also doing. Then what is the difference between humans and animals? This is the question. So one may say, well, animals just eat on street and we eat sitting in a nice AC room in hotel on a very nice plate, very well cooked food. Uh, Animals, they sleep anywhere on the roadside or on trees or in jungle or anywhere. We sleep in nice room, we may say like that. Uh, so so they are doing the same activities and we are also doing the same activities. What is the difference? Only thing we can say that we are doing these activities in a very sophisticated, in a very we can say intelligent way or sophisticated way, polished way. Same activity we are doing in a better way. That's all essentially. We have technology in the whole uh, gamut of technology, mobile phones, laptops, rockets, aeroplanes, so many things. And through that, we try to do these activities and we think that we are very advanced, but actually, we are not doing any better activity than animals. Animals, it's not that animals find any less happiness in eating or sleeping than we. Uh, Animals may eat anywhere. When they are hungry, they get happiness when they find food and they eat. Like a dog who is hungry, finds some food lying on the street and eats, feels happy and satisfied. We feel happy and satisfied when we eat in a nice place. But the happiness is same. An animal may sleep anywhere, uh, and we may sleep in a nice room. When we are sleeping, we are also taking rest and happy. We are also happy. The happiness is the same. Just the way of doing it is different. I will skip this slide in the interest of time. So in these activities, animals have rational power and intelligence. Animals are even better than human beings in some cases. So they do certain activities in an even better way than even humans can do. But people may say, but human beings have advanced technology whereas animals don't. Uh, So technological advancement helps man enjoy better luxury for eating, sleeping, mating, defending without offering true inner peace, to inner joy of heart. So these people still feel dissatisfied, full of anxiety, stressed, depressed, and above all, unhappy. In spite of so much of technological advancement, can we say that people are more happy now with all this technology than they were when these technologies did not exist? I don't mean to say that technologies are not important, but I'm talking about just the happiness. Has it actually helped increase happiness? People tend to equate the the comforts that are offered by the technology is equal to happiness. But is that really true? Comfort is one thing, but happiness is altogether another thing. And that's where we make mistake of thinking that, oh, if we are comfortable, we will be happy. Technology can offer us comforts of life, but cannot offer us happiness. If that was the case, then all those who have the who can afford all technologies in the world, they should be most happy. But we don't find that. So I hope you are getting this point, that the difference between the comforts and the happiness. A comfortable life is one thing, a happy life is another thing. So technology can buy us comforts, but it can't buy us happiness. If that was the case, then there are people in the world who have so much money, so much wealth, that all technology in the world is at their disposal. Everything they can afford. There are so many people like that, but they are still not happy. So from this, we can easily understand that a comfortable life is not necessarily equal to a happy life. Yeah. So this is about technology here. Now we'll go back again to the animals and humans, the difference. Uh, here is a slide that says that animals, we don't see any riots, any suicides, any divorces, drug abuse in animals. Uh, so what makes human beings superior to animals? What is the question? That's the question then. What really makes humans superior? Of course, the one answer was given, that humans have better technology, uh, and do these activities of eating, sleeping, mating, and defending in a very sophisticated way. Does this really make humans superior to animals? Is that all? Uh, that we can sleep better than animals? Is that why we are superior? Uh, so this is a question that we should ask ourselves. Uh, so there is this verse, very famous verse, it's a shloka. आहार निद्रा भयमैथुनं च सामान्यमेतत् पशुभिर्नराणाम् धर्मो हि तेषाम् अधिको विशेषो धर्मेण हीना पशुभिः samana. So ahar means the eating, nidra sleeping, bhaya defending from fear, and maithunam the sense pleasure. These are samanyam etat pashubhir naranam. In Pashubhi means Pashu, the animals, and Narana means humans. So between them, these things are common, equal, Samanyam. So these activities are common. Then what is special? What is special about humans? It says, Dharmo hitesham adhiko vishesho dharme nahina Pashubhi samana. It's the dharma. Dharma means inquiry into the purpose of life. Why do we exist? What is our goal of life? Making such inquiries is only possible in human beings and not in animals. And this is one thing that differentiates a human being from an animal. And it later on says that dharme nahina pashubi samana. If a human being having got this human body does not make any endeavor to understand what is dharma, what is the real goal of life. Here, dharma means inquiry about certain questions about life, understanding what is life, like who we are, why we exist, what is our goal of life. Finally, we all will meet death. What happens after death? And then everybody is searching for happiness, but why people are suffering? Why miseries come nevertheless, even though nobody wants it? What is the solution of all these miseries? So, inquiring into such questions is called dharma. One who inquires into such questions and tries to find answers to these questions is one who actually is on the path of dharma. And this is something that is adhika vishesha, it's a special and exclusive for human beings. And dharmena hina pashuvi samana. If one is devoid of such inquiry, if a human being does not make any effort to answer such questions, his whole life is simply busy in eating, sleeping, waiting, and defending, and nothing more, then according to this verse, he is considered nothing more than animals. So, just like we are all meeting today about this, understanding the holistic lifestyle, animals will not get together to have a Zoom call or any kind of meeting. They may not have technology, but even just getting together and trying to uh, find out what is the purpose of life. Animals may go through suffering, but will never inquire why are they suffering. They'll just simply try to avoid suffering as much as they can with the capacity that they have. But they will never inquire, why am I suffering? I want happiness. I want to be happy. People say, no, I want to be happy. I don't want to be sad. Animals don't think in this direction. They are simply busy with those four things. So we have to ask this question to ourselves that are we also simply busy with those four things, or should we also inquire into these questions? So when this inquiry arises in us, then we actually start living a meaningful human life. Otherwise, we are simply living a life which is animalistic, we can say. Or we can use other words like sophisticated animals or polished animals or something like that. But we can't be called human beings. I will give you one example to understand this. Um, for example, let us take an example of a district magistrate, DM, and a policeman, right? A DM or an IS officer, or in that, I mean, I just mean to say that if someone who is in a higher post, he is given a lot of facility by the government compared to what facility an ordinary policeman gets. So he gets higher facility for what purpose? Uh, he gets higher facility not to be able to perform the activities or duties of a policeman in a better way. Rather, he's not expected to be just a better policeman, but he's expected to have a better responsibility. He has more and higher responsibility, the district magistrate, than a policeman. So, what I am trying to say, when a person is given a higher intelligence or higher facility, intelligence is also a kind of a facility that we have got. So, DM is given higher facility not because he is expected to perform the work of a policeman in a better way, rather, he has better work to do. Similarly, human beings have got better facility of higher intelligence than animals. For what purpose? Not just to perform the animalistic activities in a better way, but rather we have a better purpose, better goal that we should live for. So if a DM just tries to be a better policeman, then he will be removed. He's not supposed to be a better policeman. Oh, he is a perfect policeman. That is not the purpose of a DM. Or take similarly in a school, there is a principal and there are teachers. So principal is not just expected to be a better teacher or very good teacher or best teacher. He may be, that is all right, but he has many administrative responsibilities. He also has to think about the vision of the school, the goal of the school, in which direction it's heading to, make many strategic planning and all that. To see that the students grow into beautiful citizens of the country. So he has to do all these things. And that is why principal is given better facility than teachers. He has a special office, he has more salary, he has more people working for him, servants and all that. So by these examples, what I am trying to explain is that if someone gets a higher facility, it's they're compared to another person. So that higher facility is not for doing the work of the another person in a better way. Rather, he has a higher work to do. Similarly, human beings have got higher intelligence than animals. So this intelligence has been given not just to use this intelligence to engage in the same animalistic activities in a better way, like invent technology and sleep nicely, invent technology and eat nicely, invent technology and live more comfortable life, and invent technology and have very strong defense system. Just for that, then effectively we are just doing the animalistic things in a better way and not doing a higher thing. So if, because in this life, no matter how much comfortable life we may have, no matter how much money we may have, uh, no matter how many people maybe they are serving us, but a time will come in everybody's life when we have to lose everything. Everybody must die one day. That time will come in everyone's life. So then everything is taken away. Whatever we have, everything will be gone. So if we don't try to find out a solution to this problem, that whatever we do, we go, we study so much, work hard, get into IIT, then get a good job, earn money, build a house, buy cars, do so many things, and then at the end lose everything. So an intelligent person should think, is life all about this, that get work hard to procure so much and at the end everything is taken away? Is there anything more to life? Then what actually happens after death? Why everything that I accumulate is taken away at the time of death? So intelligent person should inquire into these things. So uh, there are two things in life. One is livelihood and one is life. Life and livelihood are two different things. They are not the same. And people spend whole life mostly in livelihood and just miss life completely. And it's so sad that our education system is also uh, is structured in such a way that it only deals with the means of livelihood and prepares a person only for livelihood and teaches nothing about life. Now we are moving from this question, having answered the difference between humans and animals. We are moving into what is life actually. I mean, this is one very simple question. What is life? Have we ever thought about it? If some of you have studied biology, it's called life science. But actually, is it actually life science? What is life? When we inquire into this question, uh, it opens a door to so many things. What conception we have about life? We never think about it. We only think how to get good marks. I have this exam, complete these questions, and then get this much CPA, GPA, whatever, get a job, package, salary, and then move on, move on, move on. Finish. So life and livelihood are two very different things, and it's very sad that in our life, as we are moving along, this question is rarely discussed, and having studied only matter, we tend to think that life is all about matter. Now I'm coming to this second point. One point was humans and animals, and second point is again a very important thing, is starting from what is life. So here I am going to distinguish between matter and life, because these are the foundations on which uh, that will enable us to think more into life. So what we have studied in our chemistry is that in our creation or nature there are 120, 125 I don't know the latest number of elements in periodic table. You all probably know better. Um, I did my JE more than 20 years ago. So, and what chemistry tells us is that this world is created by a combination of these elements: hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, carbon, phosphorus, helium, so on. And it tries to explain all phenomena in life as an interaction of these elements or atoms, we can say. The whole chemistry is based on that, the whole physics is based on that, and whole biology is also based on that. Right? In biology, what we study about body actually. It's a body science, it's not life science. We study about the body, the functions of the body, all the processes of the body, all the chemicals that exist in body, how do they interact and what do they cause and all this. We study all that. And all those chemicals, according to biology, are made up of these 120 elements. So essentially, what are we being taught is that everything that exists is made up of these 120 elements and nothing more. Now I have a few questions for all of you. Have you experienced at any time? Maybe I can project another slide and so how to stop new share? Can I do this? Okay. So then I go up. Okay. Let's look at this slide. The all we study, all of you have come to IIT, so you all know probably better than me the chemistry, the physics, and probably biology to some extent, and mathematics, right? And all that we have been taught is that all that we have been taught is that that everything that exists, it comes from interaction of molecules, right? So my question here is that can molecular interactions give rise to a sudden flash of an idea? Sometimes we get an idea, right? Some new idea pops up in our mind. So which molecular interaction gives rise to this idea? All of us experience joy and sadness. Sometimes we feel joyful, very happy, like when you all heard that you have been selected in this IIT Kanpur, you must have felt happy and must have celebrated. So this experience of joy, and sometimes we feel sad. So which molecular interaction give rise to these things? Sometimes we feel fearful and sometimes we feel fearless. What gives rise to these things? To some people we respect, some people we don't respect that much. It doesn't come. What causes us to respect someone? What causes us to not respect someone? And not only that, sometimes we feel hatred for someone. What causes hatred? Sometimes what is peace? What is peace? Everybody wants peace. What causes peace? What about loving and interacting, loving and caring nature, loving, caring about others, respect for nature? So all these things, all of us experience, and they are very, very important in our lives. But question here is that can molecular interactions give rise to such things? The biologists may still try to explain that because of some hormones and something this is happening. Sometimes we feel joy because this hormones is secreted, and we feel sad because the other hormones is secreted. So the question may be asked that if it is all about hormones, then you should keep in markets these injections of hormones. And if someone is feeling sad, then give him an injection of joy hormone and a sad hormones. Whatever the joy hormone laga do, और वो person should feel joyful. Then nobody should be miserable. Nobody should be happy in the world because then the injection is available, medicine is available. That everybody should take the injection of joy and inject that hormones and then should be happy. We want to be loved and we love others. What makes this happen? Someone is flash of idea comes. If it's all about some hormones that give an idea, then inject that hormone and the idea will come. Sometimes we keep thinking an idea doesn't come. So what we are trying to say here is that the molecular interactions cannot explain that everything that we experience in life, and especially about life, the things that are very, very close to life, very, very important in life, like the experience of joy, the sadness, the respect, the loving, caring nature, all this is about life. But none of these things, they come from the molecular interactions. What is it that makes this happen? So inquiry into such things is very important. What has happened is that because of our whole science, that is what science is telling us is correct, that their molecules are there with their interactions, this is happened. But the problem is that it's not complete. There is a lot more to life than what we study in chemistry. So life is actually beyond matter, and this is what is something that is not taught to us. Life doesn't come from matter, life comes from life. No amount of material interaction or no amount of chemicals can give rise to life. So why we are talking about this is to understand that there is a difference between matter and life. Unless we understand that, the inquiry into life and the questions related to life will not happen. Because we are only dealing with matter. How can we be happy? Because happiness is a symptom of life. And we are trying to find happiness from matter. So that is why we can't be happy. Matter, manipulation of matter and all that can give temporary happiness for some time, little bit, some happiness can come, but it will not stay, it will go away. Life comes from life, and real happiness also comes when we understand that we are beyond this matter, who we are. We have to understand that. So now I think the presentation I can close. How to close this? Oh, stop sharing. Yeah. So the life and matter, these two are very important to understand, and this difference between the two. And the understanding that no amount of material interaction of molecules can give rise to life. The science has advanced so much till now, but with all the advancement of science, nobody can produce even a mustard seed, which is so small and very simple. Our chemistry can analyze a mustard seed and tell that this mustard seed contains this much amount of phosphorus, this much amount of nitrogen, this much amount of hydrogen, or whatever, everything. It can do that chemical analysis of the mustard seed. But all those chemicals are there in laboratory, but nobody can even combine them and produce a mustard seed which be sow in ground, plant in ground, and will give rise to a mustard plant. ऐसा कोई भी एक पौधा नहीं बना, एक सरसों का दाना भी नहीं बना सकता कोई भी, जिसको कि हम जमीन में गाड़ दें तो बीज बोए तो उसे सरसों का पौधा उगाए. So it doesn't, I mean, this is something that shouldn't we think about it? What is it that makes a mustard seed grow? All the chemicals that science knows, आपको पता है किसमें कौन कौन से हैं. But again, by combining the same chemicals, a mustard seed cannot be created. What is missing? So the life is missing. In mustard seed, it's true that a mustard seed has oxygen, phosphorus, nitrogen, all this it has. But more than that, it has life. And and by combining those chemicals, the shape can be created. It will look similar, but that the life cannot be created inside it. So if we plant it, it won't grow. One can make it in such a way that it may even taste similar, look similar, all that may be possible, but it won't grow because life is not there. So life is beyond matter. So our body is actually made up of all these chemicals, but this body is functioning because in the body there is something called soul, spirit, and that is the source of life. And when that soul leaves the body is dead. The body cannot be brought back to life by any amount of medical medicine once the soul leaves the body. So this is the fundamental understanding that is required if we really want to be happy. Then our journey for happiness can start. Journey for search for happiness can start when we understand this thing, that they all the 120 chemicals are there by which all these material things are made up of, but this is not all in all about the existence. There are souls, and a soul is not made up of any amount of material. कितना भी हाइड्रोजन नाइट्रोजन कार्बन फास्फोरस मिला करके सोल नहीं बनाया जा सकता. The soul cannot be made. Soul is altogether another element, you can say, and which is not like one of these elements. It is a completely different dimension. It's altogether a different thing. And that is the source of life. So we discussed about that the difference between humans and animals. And what we are trying to do is trying to search for happiness through matter. And because we are not matter, we are made up of spirit, and our existence is actually spiritual, it's not material. So the real happiness can only come when we associate with or connect with other spirits, other souls. And then the whole dimension of spiritual science will start, and then we will actually, what we study in our modern science is only dealing with matter, but life has a lot more than that, and that science is something is very important for us to understand. And the source of knowledge for this science, the basic, is Srimad Bhagavad Gita, from where we know what is soul, where does it come from, what is its nature, what are its qualities, everything is given. How it deals with matter. Like in matter, now we study the interaction of all molecules, one molecule with each other. Similarly, we also understand the interaction of soul. Now this another element has come up, soul. So how it interacts with matter. And this is all together whole science starts. And this is called spiritual science. How soul deals with matter. How soul deals with, interacts with other souls. What are the laws that govern the soul? We know the laws that govern these matters. Newton's laws of gravitation, the molecular interaction, the Coulomb's law, and all that charges सब हमको पता है. But uh, unless we also include and understand the laws that govern the soul, these interactions, uh, then this is our science remains incomplete. Our understanding about life remains incomplete. So I am bringing you to this point today that the human life and animal life, there is a difference. And humans are supposed to be engaged in better activities rather than doing the same animalistic activities in a better way. And then what is the difference between matter and the life? And this is the soul. What is life? Life is connected with soul. So I see what happens at death when the body actually, if we see all the chemicals in the body remain at the time of death, just before death and just after death. If they when someone takes the weight of the body and measures the chemicals, it will remain the same. But suddenly something has happened. The body, which was functioning nicely, speaking, uh, uh, desiring, feeling, all that, everything is gone. Now, by doing any amount of chemical um process in the body, now it cannot be revived back. So the soul has left the body. So when soul leaves the body is called dead. This is a simple definition of death. And the body functions, they stop working at that point. So I see that there are many questions also coming on the chat box. So this is what I wanted to um, convey, that everyone is searching for happiness, but real happiness can only be found when we understand actually what is soul, because we want to be happy and we don't know who we are. So we are trying to associate with things that are foreign to us and try to derive happiness from something that will that actually is all destructible. This is another very important thing to understand, that uh, a very important thing to understand, that everything in this world is destructible. No matter how strong or how sophisticated a building may be, but a day will come when it will collapse. If we look around ourselves, everything we find is destructible. Nothing will continue to exist forever. So, if we are trying to find happiness from destructible things, then there is always a fear of its destruction. So that happiness can never actually be permanent, because a fear is always associated with it. If we try to find some happiness in some relationship, the fear is that that relationship can at any time get damaged. Uh, we are trying to find happiness by living in a very nice house. The fear is that this house will gradually deteriorate and one day it will go away. So this understanding that the real happiness will come from eternal things, the permanent things, not from destructible things. So, what are those permanent things? Uh, and what are the kind of relationships that we can have which will be permanent? So, this all will start from the understanding of the soul. When we know the soul, then what other things will come? What is the source of the soul? Uh, where it is come from? Why um, we bad things happen to good people? Why two children who grow in a family, and even twins, which parents provide same facilities to both of them, when they grow we find that they are very different? It happens. What makes this happen? Parents give same food, same clothing, same medicine, same facilities for entertainment, same education, same love and care, But still, when they are grown up, they are very different. Their desires are different, their nature is different, their level of intelligence is different. Uh, Everything, many things we find different. What makes this happen? These are all very important questions about life, which, in order to answer this, we need to understand the whole science of soul, which is the science of life. And today is the first session, and the next sessions coming forward, we'll learn more about the science of soul and other things related to that. This is basically a whole new journey that we are all together taking. This is understanding this whole new science, basically life science, which is so important for us to know. So I will take here, and questions may be there. So can take some questions.
Yeah. So some of you, if you want to ask questions in chat, so you're most welcome to do so. And you can also ask question in person, directly unmuting yourself. You can raise your hand, so we can allow you to unmute. So
There are
Dhiraj,
some
you can
questions
yeah.
posted in group chat also, so if someone can read, then I can.
I have also displayed on the screen. It's visible.
Yes, yes. Okay, so shall we start with this first question here
Yes, yes,
from Anu Pal?
yes.
So you have told that whatever we are doing to satisfy those four things: eating, meetings, mating, sleeping, and defending. But if someone is passionate to doing some activity, not for any purpose, but due to his interest, how it can be compared that he is doing for those four activity? If I understand your question correctly, so you were talking about, say, somebody has a passion for something, right? Ah. So that passion ultimately is what? In that, some happiness that person may be getting. Nah? He may be getting some happiness out of it. That is why he is doing. So what is the purpose of that? Those four things. Sorry, what is the purpose of doing his activity, that the particular activity he is doing? Suppose somebody has a passion for maybe climbing mountains, somebody wants to go hiking and something like that. Many things could be there. So, um, so ultimately, through that, what he is trying to do, he is trying to get happiness, which is the same goal of those other four activities which animals do, in one sense. And this passion, what we say, is actually is also not something that is permanent. It changes with time, age, and all that. So that passion may not always remain. Then what? Uh, what we are trying to say here is that everybody is looking for happiness, but looking for happiness from material things. And those things are destructible. So a time comes when everything is taken away. So then all that happiness is gone. So even if somebody may have passion for something, will do for some time, then that will be gone. Nobody can keep deriving happiness by something throughout his life. It's not possible. Not possible. Because ultimately this body itself is taken away. So why, when the sufferings will come, the problems will come. Even if somebody has a passion for something, difficulties will come. That will ultimately be taken away, will be destroyed. All right. So what is the purpose of passion? Is only to get some happiness, na? That's the same thing, but that cannot be permanent. What is the next? Why did you leave your job for Goldman Sachs? Well, I was getting one kind of happiness when I was working for Goldman Sachs. I was getting some income, money, and all of you will also probably do a job. So, but when I understood that life has a higher purpose than just earning and making some money, no, so then in order to practice that life and teach others, I made arrangements, whatever I needed to do. I have my family, my wife, my daughter, my parents. So I'm taking care of every one of them. But when it was sufficient, then because there is a higher purpose. So this life is not meant only to earn money whole life. What will I do by accumulating everything? One day everything will be taken away. So there is a higher purpose. So to pursue that, I left. Actually, I'll tell you a small thing here. All of you must have heard about Steve Jobs, the Apple CEO who died some time ago. So when he was on his deathbed, uh, he has gone through so much of the ups and downs in his life, and then he was on his deathbed. He was meditating and thinking, and he made statements like this: that how does it matter if I eat in a restaurant where $5,000 bill I pay, or if I eat a meal of $5 or $10? How does it matter if I sleep in an ordinary room or if I sleep in a big mansion? It's like that he was comparing that actually it doesn't really matter. People think that by having all these big comforts, I will be happy. But that is not necessarily true. That is what he was trying to say. So whatever point is, whatever is needed to maintain our life, we should make that much arrangement in a sufficient nice way, but understand that life has got a higher purpose, and we must dedicate time in our life for that purpose. So that is why uh, I left. Are there different levels of happiness? Definitely. Animals also feel happy when they engage in animalistic activities. Even a hog, when she eats the dirty things, feels happy. That's one level of happiness. A dog eats something on the road, finds one level of happiness. Elephant eats something, finds one level of happiness. Similarly, we also um, find happiness, but the level is different. Spiritual happiness is a very high level of happiness. That is the highest happiness compared to all this material happiness. So happiness coming from material things and then happiness coming from spiritual things. So there is a difference, which we will all learn about it later on. Then is there any relationship between reasoning and faith? Yes. Uh, uh, Faith without reasoning is called blind. And reasoning without any faith is just called mental speculation, just doing some logic which has no purpose, that leads to nothing. So they should be related actually. Faith should be very logical, very sensible, and meaningful. So why some people naturally accept God while others not? Yes. Very nice question. So everyone has a free will. Everyone has been given independence by the creation itself, as we are all created. That independence is there. The free will is there. The choice is there. So why that choice? Some people, when they to explain this question, we also need to understand a little bit about why the world has been created, what is the purpose behind it, and all that. But briefly, because this choice is there, so some may use that choice to accept God, and some may use the choice to not accept God. Because if the choice is not there, and everyone is forced to accept God, then there can't be any loving relationship between God and living entities. You see, God is very loving and He wants a loving relationship, selfless loving relationship with all the souls. So He has given this freedom. All of us have that freedom to choose to love Him or choose not to love Him. So when we choose to love Him, then the love itself has no meaning if there is no choice. A person cannot be forced to love. Na? Love naturally, there has to be a choice to love or to not love. Then only love makes sense. So this choice is there with people, and because of that choice, some people accept and some people do not. For this, also we need some understanding about the other concepts of reincarnation, the previous life, the next life, the rebirth, and all that. So it also has to do with all the sanskaras that people have from the past life. So when we come in association with people who are God loving and have very good qualities, then in their association, we also develop that sanskar uh, to understand who is God. And we also develop that kind of mood. Just like if we associate with, so I also, some people like to smoke and some people don't like to smoke. Some people like to drink, some people don't like to drink. So it depends on what kind of association one has. So if one associates with such people who are smoking, then we will also start doing that. If we associate with people who are regulated in life, have good habits, uh, then we also uh, uh, do that. We also become like that. So this has to do with our association with people, and through which the sanskars develops, and then we make choices. We make choices based on what kind of intelligence we have, what kind of sanskars we have. So that is why some people naturally accept. Naturally means it has come because of their association with such people. It has come because of their sanskars, that which continues from many lifetimes. And others have not got that yet. So those who have not got, so they do not accept. And later on, they may get that sanskar and they may accept also. It's not that it's defined that these will accept God, these people, and these will not. There are many who may not have been introduced to such thing, may not have understood that. Later, when they understand, then they start accepting. It happens that way also. Further down from Priya Dhiman, what habits can be adopted in day-to-day life to be at peace naturally? This will definitely be discussed in upcoming classes. But in general, those habits that will keep our senses uh, uh, very enlightened. Mm. Those habits that will keep us pure, so that we are pure in our thoughts, pure in our mind, pure in our thinking. So such habits. And what are those habits? They will be discussed in the upcoming classes. So I will leave it that. Um, how a soul is connected with a material body, which bond is responsible for connection of a soul with the body? Which bond means if you are saying it's some kind of molecular bond or anything, so it's not that kind of a molecular bond. What is that? If any accident happens, some get more time or chance for treatment, and some get less time after any accident. Yes. So, soul, it's all described in the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita that soul is not like a matter. It's not like carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, something like that. It's a spirit, and it exists within the body. Hmm. And its presence is felt throughout the body, but it's said that it resides in this area of the heart. But soul is not tied to any body part or anything like that. It's not like the heart is connected with other body parts through veins and arteries and all that, no? Bone structure and all that. Soul is not an object like that. It's a uh, different entity altogether that exists here in this body, and because of that it happens, but it's not physically connected that way. And how much time one gets when an accident happens to leave the body, that depends on individual person. It depends on their many other factors actually. Depends on their past lives, their karmic, the background, what they have done in the past life. So how much misery, how much happiness one will get. There are many factors that determine this. These topics will also be covered in the upcoming classes. Because these some of the top questions require some background to answer. That is why I am briefly answering and leaving it for the future upcoming classes where things become more clear. So, what is seeking happiness through material things, mind or body or soul? We were saying what is seeking means I'm saying what is referring to mind, body, or soul. I am understanding the question in this way that we are saying whether mind is seeking happiness or body is seeking happiness or soul is seeking happiness. So if this is your question, then body doesn't seek any happiness because body is dead always. Body doesn't have any capacity to seek happiness. The seeking happiness, this nature is there only because of the soul. So because when the soul leaves the body, then the remaining body doesn't seek any happiness, doesn't feel anything even. Somebody comes and gives a slap to a dead body, it won't react. So the body is always dead. It's just that when the soul is present, the body functions. When soul leaves, the body doesn't function. And what is mind? Mind is intermediary between the body and the soul. So it's like a two-layer covering. The soul is spiritual and it has got one covering of this subtle body, which is made up of mind and intelligence and some other things, which are not like physical things. And then on top of that, this physical body is there. So one is called subtle body and another called gross body. The gross body is what we see. And the subtle body, we all know that we have intelligence, but can anyone say what color intelligence has, what shape intelligence has? We can't say. It's there. It's a subtle body. Subtle means it's not perceivable. We can't see it through our material eyes and all that. So that is how the body is there, and body is the outer covering. Then inside that mind and intelligence, this covering is there, and within that is the soul. So this is how it lives. And soul is the one who is seeking happiness. What makes us feel that we get happiness from material things? Is it the society we live in, or does that feeling comes by birth? The feeling that we get happiness from material things, it's because of this association we have. Because the nature to seek happiness is always there, but we find that everybody is seeking happiness through material things, so we also tend to do that. But when we come in association with such people who understand that real happiness only comes when we associate with spiritual objects, spiritual things, then we start this journey and we start seeking happiness through spiritual things. Material things will always still be there. It's not that we are going to be disconnected from them, because to live in this world and to maintain the body, we have to associate with material things anyway. But but that is not the only thing we do. Rather, we understand that body needs to be taken care of. But why body needs to be taken care of? Because we have to grow spiritually and establish ourselves in spiritual consciousness. See, soul has got this consciousness. This is very important. Any matter doesn't have consciousness. We should understand these things. Matter, you speak some words to it, like say this laptop is there, this computer, water bottle, everything. We speak, we glorify, or we speak bad words. They will not feel anything. But anybody says something to us, we feel, because there is consciousness. So this is very important, that soul has consciousness. The question is now not displayed. So when we associate with people around us, that affects our consciousness. So what kind of people we associate with, what kind of objects we associate with, that keeps affecting our consciousness all the time. So this, when we say feeling comes by birth, uh, this feeling, yes, it one sense because we carry it on from previous birth, but also it has to do with what we associate with. So it's a combination of both, where some things we bring from previous birth and some things we associate in this life. This is a whole science, and every question actually requires a lot of background to understand these. Well, these are very important questions, and they should be answered nicely. Uh, but we need to understand some more basics of spiritual science, some more concepts, and then just like if you are studying say physics or chemistry, and you need to understand all those little concepts of the various things, and then by combining them together, then we solve a problem. So similarly, these questions can be better understood once we understand. Like today, we understood the concept of soul, the consciousness, the difference between humans and animals. Matter is different from life. Life is different from matter. Then we tomorrow understand where the soul comes from. What is the source? Then we understand why bad things happen to good people. The law of karma. So big concepts, when we understand, we'll understand these things even better later on. But for today, briefly, I am giving answers here. Next, anything else is there?
Yeah, I think we are done with the question answer session.
Okay.
Yeah. So I would like to thank Harikeshwar sir for taking his valuable time for us, and very nicely you have made this point that till we are searching for happiness, but it's probably in a wrong place, and there's a difference between human and animals, and animals have some higher responsibility, and for that we must ask questions about the life and what is life, and chemical interaction won't be able to explain this life. So this was a very nice and nourishing starting point for all of us, and definitely you are asking many very pertinent questions, so all those questions will be answered with our subsequent topics in the coming series. So tomorrow we will be having very interesting topic, and for that, the speaker is Professor Pawan Goel from the IIT Kharagpur. So he is the winner of Google Brain Award, and there are many things about him. So that will soon intimate to you. So tomorrow, same time, 7 o'clock, we'll be meeting with another interesting topic in our series. So thank you all for having with us throughout the session, and I hope you must have inspired by this very enlightening session that many of us we never thought about this. So once again, I would like to thank Harikeshwar sir, and here we can stop.
Thank you very much. And I wish that these sessions will be life transforming for all of you.
Yes.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, sir.